In this video, we are going to look at how you can retouch your images in Photoshop and transform it from this to this with a few easy steps. So let's get this video rolling. Now, after importing your image into Photoshop, the first thing is to create a duplicate of your image. Click Ctrl J to create a duplicate of your image. Now come to your tools and select the zoom tool and zoom into your image. Make sure you have the acne spots zoomed in, and then make sure you select your healing brush tool. Now make sure the sample is set to current and below, and make sure the source is also set to this particular one, and then create a new layer. Now adjust your brush size. You can click the square bracket to adjust your brush size by 5%. Now holding Alt, click on the spots you like to sample and then let go, and then click on the spots you like to clear an acne from. So you hold Alt, click on the spot you like, and then click on the acne. Increase the brush size as you keep on working to get a very perfect work. So I'm going to continue with this process until I'm done with the acne, so you also do the same thing. So now this is before and this is after. Now we are going to merge the layers into one layer. Click Ctrl plus Shift plus Alt plus E to get one layer. Now change the blend mode to vivid light, and then click Ctrl I to invert the layer. Now right click on the layer and convert it to a smart object. So click convert to smart object. Now come to filter, and then come down to other, and then high pass. Now you want to adjust the radius to your preferred radius, but I'm going to keep it at 10. 10 works for my image, so I'm going to keep it at 10. Click OK, and then come up to filter again, and then blur. Choose Gaussian blur, and then you want to also with this one change the figures. I'm going to choose 1. I'm going to choose 1 as my radius, and then click OK. Now create a mask for this layer. Click on the mask icon to create a mask for your layer. Now select your brush tool, and then make sure you have a soft brush selected. Change the flow to your preferred size, to your preferred flow. I'm going to keep my flow at 15% is okay for my work, and then make sure your foreground color is white. Now click Ctrl I to invert your mask, and then zoom in by clicking Z, and then zoom into your image. Now select your brush tool again, and then start painting onto your image to soften the whole thing. Now this is okay, you don't want to do too much, you don't want to do more than you need to do. Now merge your layers again by clicking Ctrl Shift plus Alt plus E. And then after this, we are going to add a little bit more texture to the image to make it look more natural. To do this, come up to filter and then camera raw filter. Now you want to change a few values. Come to basic, and with this one I'm going to increase the clarity a little bit. So drag your clarity up a little bit and be looking at how it affects your image. I think I'm going to keep the clarity at 40 is okay for my image. And then I'm also going to add some detail to it. With the detail, I'm going to add the sharpening to sharpen the image a little bit, and this helps to bring out the texture a bit better. So I'm going to keep the sharpening at say 35, and then come to effects as well and add a little bit of grain. I'm going to add 10% grain, and I think that's good. That's okay for my image. Click OK. So this is before we added the camera raw filter, and this is after. And also this is when we began, and this is after. So what we've done so far, so you can see we've made a very beautiful retouch to the image. Now you can take things a step further by whitening her eyes. So to whiten the eyes is very simple. Just come down to your adjustments and then select hue and saturation. Reduce the saturation to 0, and then invert your mask by clicking Ctrl I. Now zoom into the eyes and then select your brush tool. Reduce the brush size and make sure your brush is a soft brush. Make sure the flow is 100% and make sure your foreground is also white. Now paint onto her eyes to make her eyes much more white. Don't worry about the pupil, it doesn't matter, you can paint over it as well. Then paint over this eye as well. This is before and this after. You can see her eyes looks much more white and much more beautiful. So that's it. That's a very simple method for retouching your images in Photoshop. If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you. Please don't forget to leave a thumbs up, and also if you have anything on your thoughts, leave them down in the comment section. And also if you are new to Photoshop, I've created this playlist which will take you through most of the things you need to know as a beginner in Photoshop. I also post videos just like this every week, so if that's something you'll be into, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next tutorial.